Hi everybody, it's Grace. Welcome to Eating Peace this week. So in the small group that I'm working with right now called the Eating Peace Process, where we get together for almost 3 months, really look deeply with inquiry and do exercises and share and contemplate this dynamic of compulsive behavior and how it came to be, why it happens, what's occurring. We are about to dive more deeply into studying the feelings. It's really interesting thing about feelings, I notice, is that we often have the same attitude and kind of belief system or overlay towards our feelings, towards emotional expression, as we do about food. Very closely tied together. I mean, the word emotional eating didn't come out of the thin blue air, right? It's because there are these intense emotions that seem to be driving or overwhelming or overtaking us that lead us to some kind of compulsive response, behavior, and in this case, we're talking about food and eating. That was mine, primary one. Well, I loved remembering Thomas More recently. He was this wonderful, I believe he was a monk, and he also saw people as a therapeutic practitioner. And he wrote a book called Care of the Soul. And he spoke at the very beginning of that book about symptoms being a message of the soul, like a signal from the soul for growth or awareness, reaching for something, wanting something. And symptoms are strange eating, compulsive behavior of any kind, some kind of, that kind of activity that feels like addiction. Every single time, it's a symptom. Even if somebody's an alcoholic or a drug addict or actually becomes physically addicted to a substance. That's just one little bit of a different angle than this, what we're talking about here, what generally I love to look at, which is process addiction, behavioral addiction. Sometimes there's feelings of actual kind of addiction to like a physiological connection, tightness, tie to certain foods. Caffeine is one of them, and sugar is one for many people. So of course that is interlaced in the middle of this. But the process, just the behavior of eating is sometimes this core key area around what we're talking about here. Compulsive eating, off-balance eating, out-of-whack eating, eating that has to do with something other than simple needs of the body, hunger, fullness. Now, eating can be incredibly pleasurable, of course, and exciting and beautiful if you love to cook and you like to eat with people, and it's part of the human condition. So we're not talking about that either. That's a nice thing. Let's leave it there, It can be really wonderful. But looking at feelings and how they connect to off-balance eating is an amazing journey and an amazing adventure and can be really, really difficult. So if you've watched other Eating Peace videos, you know that I talk about these kind of big umbrella areas that are often places where we wind up feeling like compulsive, like I need to escape the present moment. I need to get out of here. I'm going to go eat. I need to go adjust something. I need to change the channel. I need to fix it. A sense of powerlessness or emptiness or fear. There's a lot of other nuances and ways that you can describe the feelings that are going on when you think that you're powerless or you have no meaning or you're not satisfied or you're looking for something. There's feelings that kind of match some of those 3 general categories. Anxiety comes in so many different, it's a form of fear. Anxiety, nervousness, tension, anger, rage, fury, despair, helplessness, feeling hurt, sadness, crying, grief. These are all different kinds of feelings that sometimes lead people to compulsive behavior. What's going on? Because these are all natural parts of the human condition. And if you have a body and a mind, which you do probably if you're watching this, then you're going to experience some of those feelings in your lifetime. It's not necessarily, I used to have this goal. It's not necessarily a favorable goal or a positive thing to crush quote-unquote negative feelings. In fact, My experience, I believe, was that because I was suppressing anything that felt too uncomfortable, especially fear, I wound up feeling even more of it later, or going into a wild, frenzied binge eating episode. Anger, too. I should not be angry. So here's one place to start, because feelings can be so murky and we can think, oh, I'm so uncomfortable with feelings. I just don't want. It's even been a kind of social stigma to be too emotional is a bad thing. You know, don't express what's really in your heart. Don't really feel it. Don't emote in front of people. We can't tolerate that. None of us can handle it, right? Go eat instead. Hide behind the refrigerator. All right. So just simply for the purposes of this, you know, if you've noticed yourself ever being uncomfortable with certain feelings, any kinds of feelings, sometimes, I mean, just all kinds of feelings, just notice the ones you don't like. It's almost as if a feeling arises, and here it comes anyway, you don't have any control over it. And then you have a judgment, a label about that feeling. Oh, there must be something wrong with me. I need to fix that. I need to tone that down. So you can have thoughts about the feelings, the very feelings that are just coming out of you that you're experiencing, that are a signal, like a call, you know, of your soul or your heart or your most deepest desires to come out to the surface, to be known. And if you push things down, you know, they're going to stay hidden. You're going to be very, very frustrated. So just for the simplicity of today's video, as we enter into an exploration about feelings, notice if you've ever had, you know, you can think about somebody who's very, very angry or enraged. You can think about somebody who's super full of despair and angst and, you know, very negative, or whatever it is. There they are, expressing those feelings. Sometimes kids have tantrums, and as adults, if you haven't resolved your own experience around tantrums, like just screaming for what they can't have, so mad. You know, I used to have feelings towards a kid that was doing that, like, be quiet, tone it down, for God's sake. And if you feel like a really heightened sense of wanting that thing to get shut down, then maybe there's something inside you, there certainly was inside of me, that doesn't ever want to be seen, or is ashamed, or has like Velcro tie to anyone who feels those feelings is bad because fill in the blank. So keep it simple. Just notice what you don't like about certain feelings in the human condition. If you're trying to be, you know, blissful and peaceful and all happy all the time, if you're going to try to be like that, you're going to have a very, very tough time when the little geysers pop up over here of uncomfortable feelings, or things that you don't like, and you're going to be trying to, oh my God, there's another hole over there. I got to go jump on it and hold that down. Oh wait, there's one over here, and your legs got to stretch out over there and cap that one. Then there's going to be another geyser coming out over here, and you're going to get all flustered and spend all this time just trying to keep the geysers under control. Have you ever noticed that you have the same kind of attitude towards your food and eating experience as you do towards your feelings? Got to keep that under control. Just when I think things are handled and everything's really smooth, there's a problem over here, and I've got to, you know, resist and clench and fight it and have a battle with it and make sure and use my will so that it doesn't keep going. You know, shut that thing down. No desires, no cravings are allowed here. So just notice today, take out that journal, have a conversation with somebody who's close to you, write down the feelings that you know about, that you've ever experienced or you've watched other people experience, and maybe begin to explore, why don't you like that? What's the worst that could happen if somebody or you feels that feeling? Getting to know your feelings and being open and intimate and accepting, compassionate towards them all, greatest freedom on the planet. And a great side effect benefit is those symptoms of compulsion begin to diminish and dissolve and go away. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.